IPOB forces Supreme Court decision revising Nnamdi Kanu's discharge from terrorism charges. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has faulted the Supreme Court of Nigeria under the reversal of the discharge of Biafran nation agitator Nnamdi Kanu from alleged terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government. The Court of Appeal had unanimous judge of 3 justices dismissed the terrorism case against Kanu and discharged him on the ground that Nigerians flouted all known local and international laws in the ways and the manner the IPOB leader was adopted in Kenya and brought to the country. However, based on the appeal by the federal government against the appeal court ruling, the Supreme Court, in its own judgment, held that the manner of Kanu was brought back to the country should not be an issue, set aside the decision of the Court of Appeal, and ordered the continuation of Kanu's trial. In a statement on Friday, IPOB expressed displeasure with the Supreme Court decision on the ground that its judgment has reduced Nigeria's judiciary to an arm of executive lawlessness. The statement was signed by Barrister Onyedikachi Ifedi, Directorate of Legal Affairs and Global Communication, Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB. It reads in a part: "We condemn in the strongest possible term the Supreme Court of Nigerians betrayal of the Constitution in FRN versus Nnamdi Kanu by overturning a lawful discharge ground in a state-sponsored kidnapping. The court has illegally derogated from a non-derogable chapter 4 right, annulled the constitutional prohibition against double jeopardy and reduced Nigeria's judiciary to an arm of executive lawlessness." The Supreme Court judgment is a textbook assault on constitutional democracy because Section 45(2) of the Constitution explicitly forbids any derogation from a fair hearing right. Section 36(1). The court invented the national security exception is a fraudulent rewrite of the law. Supreme Law Section 36(9) prohibits retrial after acquittal. The Court of Appeal's discharge order was a final acquittal, yet the Supreme Court resurrected the death charges in the service of state's impunity, where a defendant is procured through state's adoption. Court lacks jurisdiction. The Supreme Court's failure to void proceedings reward the kidnapping as a state's policy. Nigerian judiciary now stands isolated among civilized nations. The judgment national security justification is legally dead on arrival. The Supreme Court has no power to create imaginary exception. National security cannot be built on state terrorism. A bench that licenses adoption as a persecutorial tool commits judicial malpractice. The ruling violates Nigeria's treaties obligation under the ICCPR Article 14 and African Charter Article 7. The Supreme Court has shredded Nigeria's social contract when the highest court license states adoption, suspends the non-derogable rights and void double jeopardy. It commits constitutional harakiri. This judgment is not law. It is a tyranny disguised as a jurisprudence. We call on global communities to treat Nigeria with care until Nnamdi Kanu is freed and the Constitution restored. We declare the Supreme Court's judgment a nullity and demand the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, victim of state kidnappings and the judicial collusion. Among other, IPOB demands the reversal of a Supreme Court judgment and for the International Criminal Court to open an inquiry into Nigerian officials for crimes against humanity on adoptions and denial of a fair trial and sanction them accordingly.